Alright, what is up guys, it is Storm back here with another video, and in this one I am bringing you a Tokyo Revenger story that is pretty dark. So if you like the story, then be sure to go check it out in the description below. But before the video begins, if you like the content you're seeing, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I mean, they're all free, so why not? If you want some dope channel merch, link to that will be down in the description below. And if you want to see more of me, go check out my other channels and go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, which will all be linked down below. But without further ado, why don't we just dive right on in. Takemichi never told anyone his secret. He only kept it to himself. He was afraid that if he told somebody, he would have to stop. His friends would be informed, and he didn't want that. Takemichi had wonderful friends, more loyal than anyone could dream, always there for him. They deserved their own happy ending. Each and every one of them suffered enough, but they would still be willing to go through so much pain if they knew what Takemichi had to go through every time he had to turn back time. It hurt so much, it felt like dying. Takemichi could feel his body breaking, he could feel his bones being crushed, his flesh slowly burning to nothing, his skin being ripped from his body and his organs shutting down one by one, until he was left with nothing but his brain feeling and seeing everything, without being able to do anything. He wanted to scream his pain, to tell the world of his suffering, to show everyone the process of time traveling, so that maybe they would make the right choice for him, and maybe he wouldn't have to beat himself so much for not being able to save them all. But still, even if they knew and told him not to do anything, Takemichi would still go through such pain for them. He would do anything and everything for them, if it means they would get to be happy. It felt like if he rolled enough on himself, maybe the pain would let go of him. Maybe it would stop surrounding him and blinding his vision. He'd be able to breathe, to live. He was ready to give everything to his friends. He liked to see them smile. It was so much better than seeing their eyes filled with dread or sadness. It fit them better too. But sometimes, he liked to have a moment for himself, alone and far from everyone. It's not that he had enough of his friends, that he had become tired of their shit, or that it was just too much for him to handle. No, it wasn't like that. Takemichi loved spending time with his best friends or with Hinata, but he also enjoyed having some time alone. It allowed him to rest and to take it easy from everything that was happening. He felt like nothing was out to get him or his friends. He was safe. Takemichi is a lucky boy. He had understanding friends that know when to leave him alone, to turn to somebody else to get the help they need. Having time for himself truly helped a lot, but that's what he thought. But was it supposed to be like that? He heard about self-care from Hinata, and he was glad that she introduced it to him because he realized, the first time he took a day for himself, that he needed that a lot. But having nothing to do for the entire day left him with a lot of thoughts he didn't know he had. It left him with a feeling of emptiness. Like he had lost the purpose of his life. Like something was missing, and he hated that. He hated how hopeless he had felt on the days following his self-care journey. He would get this feeling as if nothing was worth it, and he felt guilty having those thoughts. Takemichi felt so much guilt for not being able to save everyone, that sometimes it would suffocate him. No matter how hard he tried, there was always someone dying, giving up on life and being happy or getting killed. It put him in such an emotional turmoil that he had a hard time breathing, to see clearer. His brain would go numb and his heart would start beating so fast after some time. It was strange, but it pulled him out of the distress he was feeling. Takemichi's not stupid. He's not the most clever, but he wasn't as foolish as people thought he was. Takemichi knew at some point he would need to make sacrifice. Nothing was given for free, and his ability to go back in time surely wasn't without conditions. The pain he had to endure was great, but he was stubborn, and that was enough for him to not give up. Naoto one day said something that stuck in his head. A life for a life. And maybe he thought it was like that. The agony he had experienced and the torture he had to endure was his payment to be able to time travel. So he had to give something to succeed in saving everyone, right? Every time he changed the course of time, someone always died or ended up in great pain. The first time he went back to save Hinata, but he didn't do anything. He didn't make a right trade to life, destiny, so Draken died and so on. Does he have to sacrifice someone's life? Is it necessary for someone to die so that they get to be happy? How can life be so unfair? How was he supposed to choose who should live and who should die? Takemichi wasn't God. He wasn't one to make that kind of decision. He thought strongly that everyone has a right to live, no matter how evil they were. He couldn't make that kind of decision, but he also wouldn't let destiny hurt his friends. Takemichi's love for people was strong, and his heart was pure. He was courageous, even if his legs would give up from fear frequently, and he was loyal. He had to do everything to save everyone, and if it meant that he had to die, so be it. He took the gun on the floor and put it on his temple. He wanted to leave with a smile on his face to reassure his friends, or maybe himself, but he only managed to cry and barely blurt out a few words. He tried not to think too much about their faces, crying and scared, or about their voices filled with despair, begging him to stop. He knew that if he started to think, he wouldn't have the courage to end it, so he didn't ponder much and pulled the trigger. In his last moment, his heart had been drowned with pain and fear. All the hurt he tried to ignore came at once and he had been swallowed by it all, but he still tried to give one last smile he wished looked sincere. Takemichi prayed one last time for his friends to be happy. He didn't get to return to his timeline. He died years in the past, but his sacrifice allowed everyone to live a good life. 愛してる